So now we're moving customers into the needs assessment from non-business conversation. And this is the get to know you stage, of course, right? The non-business conversation. And then to do that, we're using open-ended questions such as, so what brings you in today? Or what's the special occasion? Again, reminding you that the customer may jump into this circle of the sale anywhere. It's up to them. Now, I'm going to revisit key questions here for the sake of a linear training program, but then I want to reemphasize the importance of these questions. And so we're doing it again, and we're going to do it all in one training. So use these questions or your personal variation of them to get the customer talking and thus immensely improving our chances of closing the sale. When the customer's talking, our chances go way up. So I'm going to give you these in a sequence, but by no means do you need to ask them in a linear order. In fact, you're probably never going to be able to ask them in a linear order unless it's a brand new customer walking through your door. But you need to ask them as they're appropriate for your conversations. And also, you don't need to ask all of the questions, but really, you do need the answers to all of them. So be listening for these key gold nuggets of information as the customer is talking. So first, we have what brings you in the store today as our non-business to business question, right? We got to move them along. Another good transitional question is, who are we shopping for today? Who are you shopping for today? And there's two key information tidbits that we're looking for here, and that is a relationship and a gender. Now, that's, of course, if they're shopping for somebody else. If they're shopping for themselves, you got it, of course, right? And this is where I start taking notes. Okay, because I'm taking notes because I can't remember a lot of things a lot of times. And if I'm trying to gather a bunch of information and listen for a lot of key tidbits, I'm going to write those tidbits down or those gold nuggets down because I can't remember them. I'm an old guy. But also, I'm taking these down for future outreach. The more we can get in the computer, the more we can get in there about the personal aspects of this customer and key gold nuggets, man, the better, okay? So here's another great question. What have you seen before that you've liked? Now, of course, this question has several variations, but you can see that this question gives us tremendous information, such as, where have they been shopping? If they've been shopping, or is this the first place they've come? It may give you an idea of the price or the style, or it may even tell you what's important to them. Or are we competing with the store down the street? Or are we competing with the internet? Now, of course, this question can have various forms. What has she seen? What have you seen out there that you've liked, that you've loved? Do you have an example of something maybe on your phone and they're showing you where they've shopped before, whether it's online? So just know that there's a variety of ways you can ask this same question. The key here is, what has somebody seen before and where have they been shopping? But don't ask them where they've been shopping. That'll come out in the what have you seen before. Next, who recommended our store? Now, of course, insert your store name at the end, right? Who recommended Woodard's Diamonds and Design? But I want to encourage you to ask this question exactly as it is, verbatim. Who recommended our store? This question, it says volumes about your store, such as we get a lot of referrals. We get a lot of recommendations. And, well, you surely must have been referred. We get a lot of reviews. So this question builds trust and it builds confidence that they've come to the right place. But ask it exactly like that. If you ask them, what ads have you seen, or where have you heard about us? Where have you heard about us? A lot of people, you're going to get extremely subjective answers to that. So keep this, who recommended our store, and it'll speak volumes. And of course, if they gave you a name, write that name down to be sure to thank that person, to be able to reach out to that person. Okay, next, what's the special occasion? Now, this is a fantastic question, particularly for jewelers, because most jewelry is purchased to commemorate something very special. But it can sometimes be used in other relational selling stores like music or furniture. And you should be able to know whether you need to ask this question by hearing it from one of their earlier answers. Okay? And again, they may tell you about it when you ask what brings them in today. Now, the most important question in all of sales. And if you could ask only one question, this would be it. What's important to you in A? What's important to him in A? Okay? What's important? Now, for more details on this, go back to trainings numbered 503 to 504 to 505. But it's crucial to get the answer to this question, especially in our relational selling stores, as it'll allow you to hone in on exactly the items that they need, or exactly the items that maybe they didn't know they needed. A neat serendipity to this question is often a customer thinks they want one particular item, but when they answer this question, now you become the expert, and you may perhaps lead them to something a little bit different, maybe in a little bit different direction, and thus making them happier than they thought they were going to be. For example, what's important to you in a piano? Well, I saw this really cool Yamaha P105, and it's the perfect size for my son in his room. And he has a friend that has one, but he wants to have the ability to connect to an iPad and transcribe some notation into sheet music. So now, based upon what they told me, he thinks he wants the P105. But when I've asked what's important, I'm going to show him the Yamaha P515 that meets this criteria and also has the transcription software that he needs and many, many more fun bells and whistles. So what's going to happen? He's going to be delighted. What's important to you gives you, the salesperson, the golden ticket to a happy customer. And finally, when is the special occasion? When were you wanting to take it home? When did you want to have it delivered? When were you wanting to give this? The question of when tells us if they're taking it home or with them today, or if we need to begin a special order or custom design process. If they tell you sometime in the future, your reply is always, well, that'll be here before you know it. You never want to say, well, that'll give us some time to think about it, or some type of phrase that allows them to check out for today, right, and literally take the air out of your urgency balloon. Especially in today's market, shipping and special orders aren't as instant as they used to be. So we always need to have that sense of urgency to the question of when. Like I said, even if it's 8 months in the future for a home build or a custom design or an anniversary coming up, the words, that'll be here before you know it, always ring true in people's brains. So these are the key questions. Now, this is a little summary of the key questions. Again, go back to 503 through 505 for more detailed information on these. But these are the business phase of the needs assessment. They're open-ended. And thus, they get the customer talking. If they're talking, they're buying. Now, I know some salespeople that have literally memorized these questions their first week in retail and have started selling right away. And this is especially because they didn't have time to learn the bad habits, like asking close-ended questions, yes or no type questions, right? You have to work a lot harder selling like this because you're stabbing in the dark. Did you want leather or fabric, or is this indoor or outdoor, or did you want yellow gold or white gold? Is this for a birthday or an anniversary or something? If you're using a lot of ers and getting a lot of yes, no answers, boom, the conversation just kind of stops, right? You need to just simply make an adjustment and ask, hey, what's important to you? or any of these questions. You can jump right in on any of these questions and you'll get right back on track. So next time, we're going to talk about really opening our brains and offering the set, the additional items that maybe they didn't know they needed. We're going to do this to offer them the complete customer wow experience.